let's throw it to the LeBronologist, Gary. The Lakers signed JJ Redick to a 4-year deal. What are your thoughts?
I think it was a great signing. I know everyone's there's going to be positive negatives of whatever coach they would have hired, to be honest with you. It's because it's the Lakers, and that's how it always goes with the Lakers, you know what I'm saying? And so me just actually watching an interview with him and Rob Pelinka talking about the whole situation. I know everyone probably is going to put the negative everyone's going to point to about JJ is probably going to be the coaching experience. I feel like that can easily be compatible with playing 15 years in the league. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of players, and maybe like there's players who have maybe dabbled a little bit, like Chauncey Billups, a little bit, Steve Nash. Like they might have did. I don't think Steve Nash did, but I think Chauncey. I'm not sure if he was assistant coach the year before for 1 year before he got the job. I can't remember at the moment. He might have been assistant coach for the Clippers for 1 year before he took the Portland job. I can't remember, but like there's so many good coaches. I feel like who've been players who've transferred over, and just for the pure fact that I feel like everyone's making it seem like JJ Redick just got this interview, the Laker interview, and that is it. He had a Raptor interview last year. He had, I think, like 3 interviews this year too already. So like he's been already in the mix in terms of wanting to be a coach and being the coaching circles and things of that nature. And so I think that he's going to be a good coach. I mean, I think that he's a young coach who's, if you watch any of JJ, which I am going to be biased, I guess. Been watching JJ's podcast and everything since day one, from everything he drops, because I just feel like it's all straight basketball, love of basketball knowledge. And if you love basketball, if you don't love basketball, you can't really watch JJ Redick's podcast. I'm not going to lie. If you're there for like the entertainment purposes and things of that nature of basketball, you can't really watch his stuff because it's really X and O's and deep talk with basketball. You know, exactly. It's simple as that. So that's why I love watching his stuff. So I think that him being that smart and that much love of the game, I feel like it's going to translate. Now the hard part is probably, like who is it, like he talked about today, who are going to be the coaches in the bench? Are they going to be with experience? Who is the staff that's going to be around this team, which really can help him in his future. At the end of the day, I think Rob Pelinka mentioned today LeBron wasn't in this, and he and AD was really involved, and that just shows that LeBron's in the stage where he's like, no matter what coach you have, I'm going to be the coach. But I'm going to adapt anyone. I don't know what number of coaches. He's probably his 12th or 14th coach. I have no clue what coach number it is, but I know it's up there of how many coaches he has had. So he's been able to adapt to all different types of coaches, won 4 championships with 3 different types of coaches alongside him, and took many coaches to the finals, no matter who it was. Took a foreigner who never coached either in the NBA and took him, and David Blatt, all the way to the finals. So, what I'm saying? I don't feel like that's going to be big of an issue. I just feel like overall, him just knowing, like him basically talking about how much the Celtics and things of that nature was talking about, like him being on the thing that had Joe Mazzulla on, and he just has so many connections around the league where I feel like actual coaching X's and O's, I don't think that's going to be the problem. I feel like it's just him probably going to get maybe a little bit of respect from the guys who are like, hey, you just played 3-4 years ago. Like guys who are vets and like, I just played with you, man, like 3-4 years ago. Maybe that, but I feel like him just being so personable and being cool with people, I just feel like he's going to do a good job, man. I feel like people are going to be wanting to talk to him. And I'm happy to see someone new because, they always go kind of in the same circles of the coaching and who's been there before. So I'm glad a young guy got a chance to show what he got. And hopefully he proves everyone wrong and, he could do some things with the Lakers because as a LeBron fan, as Kev just mentioned, I would love to see LeBron get one more ring before he rides out here on the sunset. So hopefully he can help that out. And like before we talked about it, when me and Alex and Kev before Vaughn hopped on while we're waiting was it don't matter who the hell is coaching this team. Who the hell is going to be on the team? Who is going to be on the team? Like we just mentioned, you need 3-and-D guys like Vaughn's Celtics is littered with, and 4 or 5 3-and-D guys, no liabilities, guys who could do everything. And so in this type of NBA, you're going to need that. And so that's, I think that's going to be Rob Pelinka and their job to try to surround him and LeBron and AD and all the core guys with the right pieces around to help run any system he wants to run. He can have the best system in the world, the most high-tech, using the analytics, smart, everything you want to use, you know what I'm saying? But if you don't got the players to put that system in play, how are you going to work? I think that's why Eric Spoelstra is one of the best coaches because it seems like no matter what kind of team he has, he kind of forms a system around the team he has, not the opposite, you know what I'm saying? So it seems interesting how JJ takes upon that approach. If you watch JJ, seems like he's always going to go with the adapt with the players I have type of approach. So let's see what they cook up in terms of the team. But I have some faith in JJ Redick, and I think the Lakers are still going to be – I think they're still going to be a factor, obviously, because they still got LeBron and AD. You guys still got 2 guys who are big-time players in this league. So I feel like no matter what, Hey, you want to start with the Pistons or you want to start with the Lakers with LeBron and AD on your side? I'll take the Lakers and everything. With all the pressure you guys want to throw on me.
You want a job next year or 2 years from now?
I'd rather take my chances with LeBron and AD than a bunch of young bucks, to be honest with you.
Well, what you're saying is, Gary, is LeBron and AD. LeBron is not a Laker right now.
Yeah, but this is going to be pretty hard pressed for me to see LeBron James not being a Laker next year, Kev. I'll be pretty shocked, to be honest with you. Even though, in my opinion, I would love to see it because I feel he got way opportunities to win in other places. Philly,
Cleveland. This is for you.
Somebody play back to Miami. I can see so many things where help go to New York. Oh man, they'll love him in New York. Drop LeBron in a new uniform like that. I guess that was supposed to be the plan before they went to Miami. I guess when you hear all these other players talk about the background story, what could have been, what should have been, drop anywhere, Kev. I would love to see him go somewhere if you have a higher opportunity, but. You got mansions and LA weather. Come on,
yeah, mansions everywhere, Gary.
True,
man might have an island out named after him somewhere.
Family, there's so much stuff I feel like it's hard to unroot, but you never know. LeBron always had the game. Never know what he's about to do.
Yeah. Before I swing it to you, Alex, I am one that was pretty disappointed that there's no more podcast. Like in general, like I knew the LeBron podcast was going to stop.
Yeah,
but we could have kept the old man in the three.
But then that would have been tampering, interviewing players or whatever. Like that.
It could just be him and no offense to the listeners out there. I don't know the white dude's name.
I know
him and homeboy. I like their podcast. I like their dynamic because if players can't do it, why can't coaches?
Yeah, I think that's the whole point. Coaches ain't gonna do it because they're gonna be the comments is gonna be roasting. And plus, them feel like he's gonna be talking about the team. So it's just so much.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see it, but
a lot of bulletin material. Lakers coach think I'm not top 15 or some shit he got going on. You know what I'm saying? Mailbag question.
JJ Redick doing a factor cap.
When are you gonna get fired, JJ? Like what?
So, Alex, I'm gonna swing it to you next. What were your initial thoughts and reactions to JJ Redick getting a 4-year deal to the Los Angeles Lakers?
I think no one wants the coaching job for the Lakers because not only is it a team that you can't really do much with right now, and it's a kind of older team in a very young West. But it's also the Lakers, and they're trying to get back to the glory days, like always. So I think just taking on a role like that for 4 years, I think that's very brave of JJ. Do I think he'll be fine? I think it depends on his coaching staff. I think if he gets a really good coaching staff that has some experience, then I think he'll be fine. However, I don't know, because you see Steve Kerr is one of the best coaches in the league right now, and he was a first-time coach when he took over the Warriors. Granted, they did have Steph Curry, they did have a great team, and they won the championship. Kind of like a Joe Mazzulla, he became the coach of the Boston Celtics, but they were already a great team. You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see how he works this, what his structure is going to be like as a first-year coach for a glorious franchise like the Lakers. But I'm kind of in the air. Maybe he'll do good, maybe he won't. I think the Lakers need to stick to their gut though and stick with him for 4 years. I don't think they need to let coaches go left and right. They need some stability, especially if LeBron's going to be leaving soon. He's getting a little older, AD's getting a little older. You're trying to bring some new blood in. You really need that stability for that on that coaching staff. But I am really disappointed about the podcast leaving. Not the old man in the three, but the mindset one with LeBron.
Yeah, that was a dope.
I learned so much in that podcast that I didn't even know as a basketball. I had to slow it down and rewind it. So it sucks that that's not gonna happen, but it's kind of in the air. So.
Like Uncle Manny said, Alex is right on. And before I swing to you, Toddy, that is probably the only podcast I couldn't listen to in the car. I had to actually watch it on TV because they're bringing out the whiteboard. If you just listen to it, if you don't know what they're saying, the terms they're saying, it's gonna go over your head. So that is probably the one podcast I've ever only watched on television. So Toddy, swing it to you next. JJ Redick, Los Angeles Lakers, 4-year deal. 2 days ago, he was coaching in a fourth grade championship game. Now he's coaching the Lakers, baby. What are your thoughts?
The reason why I'm smiling so much is because Kevin has been an avid person in our group chat talking the most shit about JJ Redick, saying he's got no experience. He's coached a fourth grade team. And
And they even won a championship. You want to coach grown men?
They're 10-year-olds.
These are 20-something-year-olds.
Yeah, so Kevin is trying to figure out where is the correlation. I think JJ is qualified. I don't know if qualified is the right word. I feel like he has the capability of being able to coach an NBA basketball team. Qualified is another term because there's a bunch of other coaches on staffs that have been coaching, being assistant coaches for years, and these are former players like guys like Sam Cassell is another guy who I thought is a lot more qualified than JJ Redick. But like I said, it's not about all what you know, it's about who you know. LeBron James for sure has a podcast with who is it again? Oh yeah, that's right, JJ Redick, the guy we're talking about. And rumblings about him have been started like 2 months ago, so this wasn't really a shocker. There was a little bit of a hat that was thrown in the race, and that was Dan Hurley. And Dan Hurley said, I'm just going to go on back to the East Coast and UConn and three-peat. So we're good over here. He probably saw the instability that we all kind of seen from the Lakers the past 4 to 5 years. Like Frank Vogel won a championship. Like the thing that most coaches are chasing for every single year, won a championship and was fired. Darvin Ham, first year as a head coach, goes to the Western Conference Finals and gets to the playoffs again the next year, fired. You're out of here. So there's not really, any, stability to kind of look, forward to, because it's like, all right, clock starts now. You got a 40-year-old LeBron. You have an older Anthony Davis who's been healthy as of recently, but does have an injury history. And, you don't really know what this roster kind of is construed of. And then you always have these rumblings about Ronnie James wanting to play with the Lakers. That's just another distraction that kind of goes with it. So there's a lot of noise going around this Los Angeles Lakers team all the time. Technically, LeBron James is not on the roster because he's going to opt out of his contract to try and get a little bit of more money. But you would assume with the signing of JJ Redick that LeBron will be back, being that they're podcast mates. I think JJ's he's very smart. I think he's very capable. Capable is the best word I can use possible. He's a very capable person. I think he's capable of being a fantastic head coach. And to quote our boy Shaun, who was not here on the podcast, his floor is Steve Nash, but the ceiling, Pat Riley. That's what our guy Shaun. We're quoting him. And I quote. These are not my words. These are Shaun's words. JJ Redick can be Pat Riley. Now, I don't know what that construes of. Is that Pat Riley, the Miami, or the Laker, or the
any?
Talk Pat Riley the player, or I don't know if I want to jump on that bridge with Shaun, but we'll have to see. This roster has to get better. I don't think they can roll the same roster back and just kind of hope for the best. If this guy were healthy and that guy were healthy, we would have been at this seed and blah, blah, blah. Like, at the end of the day, the players have to play, and I don't know if it matters who the head coach is, like you guys were kind of already talking about before the pod. It's kind of like, can LeBron and AD be healthy? Can this roster get better? That's kind of where we're going to go with that. We'll see how good JJ is. I don't know if the Lakers get to the number 1 seed. Are we going to give some credit to JJ? I feel like it's going to go like LeBron and AD are playing out of their minds. That's really where it's going to go to. Because at one point in time, the Kings' old head coach, Luke Walton, was the head coach for the Warriors when Steve Kerr was out with an illness, and they went 35-4, and he got a head coaching job off of that. So, not saying that's what JJ Redick's going to be, but I'm just saying sometimes it's not really all about who the coach is.
Garry or Toddy, before you weren't here for the beginning of the conversation before the show, we talked about you don't need a coach. We just gonna go out there. We got LeBron James, got Anthony Davis.
Roll the ball out.
James Harden, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant. When they had Steve Nash. Can anyone tell me where Steve Nash is coaching? Look, I know Kevin. Well, if KD wore 14 versus 15, you can't say that. He wears a 15, not a 14. So when we saw Steve Nash get this job, the narrative was two-time MVP, Hall of Fame point guard. Why won't it work? Right? He has the accolades. He had the playing career. JJ Redick.
But was he still like in depth in the game though? Was he still relatable in the game? Like Steve Nash was really like kind of out the way the whole time he was gone.
But like, he got the stamp of approval because of what he did on the court. So
he's a
but I don't feel like
podcaster.
I don't feel like JJ's doing that because of the court,
with
though.
No coaching experience. All we're looking at is playing.
But that's just being vague, Kev. I feel like you're being really vague on that one.
Because
this guy's been basically intertwined with the league for 6 years, like doing interviews on the daily for play-by-play. You're talking to coaches and everything daily. You're talking to players daily. You're talking to all the people in the head office daily. Steve Nash literally, I think, was chilling, coaching kids in soccer before he became a coach.
Oh, coaching his kids, like what JJ Redick was doing.
Yeah, but a whole different sport, first of all, soccer. Second of all, did he have a daytime job would literally consist of him being intertwined with the game of basketball for 4 years?
Let's not make it seem like JJ Redick had a daytime job for a while. He was a podcaster.
Yes.
He was a podcaster for a while before he got on set.
And that job required him to what? He making millions of dollars off his podcast now. The podcast ain't nothing. He got millions of subscribers on both of the things. He's been doing stuff. How many players he had on during that time?
Everyone gave the stamp for Steve because of what he did on the court. JJ didn't do that, and he's not getting the same love. So let's just look at the coaching staff from the Lakers from 2011. Mike Brown, 11-12. Bernie Bickerstaff, 2012. Mike D'Antoni, 12-14. Byron Scott, 14-16. Luke Walton, 16-19. Frank Vogel, NBA champion, 19-22. Darvin Ham, 22-24. Theirs has been a recycling chair. Unless your name is Phil Jackson, you can win a finals. You can go to the WCF, and you can still lose your job. This is the Lakers.
You're about to lose your job.
So, before we move it on, I'm going to ask a general question to the pod. What you got to say, Alex?
Well, I just want to say the Panthers won Game 7. That's what I was watching for the last 2 minutes. It was like a really close game.
Who's family? What are you doing this cup? Anyway.
What this cup?
So, who is taking the bigger risk? JJ Redick or the Los Angeles Lakers?
Lakers.
Easy. JJ gonna get paid.
JJ was given the opportunity of a lifetime.
What do you think, Garry?
I don't know. I guess it's going to be the Lakers, but the Lakers are looking for anybody at that point. So I don't know. I kind of is JJ because JJ had other opportunities.
He had other coaching JJ, dude.
But JJ could get back into podcasting. He could get back into broadcasting.
The Lakers are going to be the Lakers.
Garry, let me ask you a question, Garry. Did he not mention wanting to win championships, wanting to have a long NBA coaching career? He mentioned all these things about how he wants to be a coach and how he wants to have a long career and be looked at by his peers as one of the best coaches. Coaching the Lakers for your first job, he could be like Steve Nash. We talking about what he could have been. That's all I'm saying. So if we're taking the bigger risk, it has to be JJ Redick because JJ can never coach again. Yeah, he can go back to the podcast.
So. I think he still gets a job again.
Dude, if the Lakers suck, if they finish in the 10 seed, is JJ Redick going to continue being the coach?
Okay, that's not JJ Redick's fault.
Because what's the name got a second opportunity?
We understand that it's not all JJ's fault. He doesn't play 1 minute, but the narrative?
No, what's the name got a second opportunity? Jason Kidd, who was a Milwaukee Bucks coach, came off the thing and then boom, went to.
He was also an assistant. Jason Kidd's
but not for the Bucks though. Not before the Bucks.
His first experience was head coach.
He got fired from the Bucks. Then he went to the Lakers.
That's what I'm saying. I think even if JJ,
I can see him doing that.
It doesn't work out in LA. I think he finds another.
Go behind Ty Lue, learn a little bit, or behind.
Yeah, he might get an assistant. He might get
pulled. He said good things today.
So let me ask you guys this: Is 94 and 67 in 2 years a good record?
94 and 60.
For who though?
Just to answer the question, flat out question. Is that a good roster?
It's based on the franchise, depending.
All right, let me elaborate. It was the Brooklyn Nets with Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and James Harden.
They were just so misfunctioned.
I know there's a lot of other things that go into it, but when you look at the record, we can all agree that's not a bad record. There's a worse. Yeah. Steve Nash isn't even a coach anymore.
But do you think Steve wants to coach? I don't. He might be scarred.
Maybe he don't want to coach.
What he dealt with in
Maybe don't know looking back. Coach.
God damn.
You ever thought about
bad time? It was during COVID and shit. A whole bunch of shit was going on.
Yeah, that was
last thing.
I think my
I
man's
don't know.
far.
I feel like the Lakers organization needs to take accountability because they're just taking. I don't think they should have even fired Vogel or whatever his name is, Frank, to begin with. And then you have Darvin Ham. I mean, he did take you to the Western Conference Finals, and then you just let him go. But you know, like, you got to stick to your gut. Like, as a Lakers organization, you can't just be getting them left and right just because things are not going your way. You have to take some accountability with some of the trade assets that you guys are doing, some of the drafting you guys are doing. You're not doing your job, and the coach can't do their job if you don't do your job. So, no.
Last thing I'm gonna say, Garry, as another person who watched the interview, he mentioned Austin Reeves, Anthony Davis, D'Angelo Russell, gave a brief overview of the current roster. He only said one of those guys he looked at as a friend. How many coaches you hear are friends with their players?
A lot of coaches. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Do they say it to the public?
Nowadays, a lot of these guys are friends.
Do they say it to the public?
Respect. Well, he's young enough where it makes sense why he would be the friend.
Aren't LeBron and like JJ close in age though? Like JJ a little bit.
I understand. No, LeBron's older. I understand they're close in age, but you've never heard an NBA coach call one of his players his friend.
He's my friend.
He's my friend. After the game, we get beers. That's my friend. That's all I'm saying.
Wait, who did you say was his friend? What did you say was
LeBron?
LeBron should be his friend. Goddamn, LeBron is the GOAT.
They got a podcast.
He's not coaching. He's the GOAT now.
Man. I'm just saying.
Kevin's bringing his.
And it's actually good. I want him to be my friend, so he can tell everyone to be my friend too.
He can be my friend too.